Okay, so the topic of this video is evaluating logarithms. And really what this video is for is to give you the basics of how to evaluate a logarithm. Okay, now I'm also doing this so that when you're done, you can go to Khan Academy and get the problem set evaluating logarithms. You can get 5 in a row on it. And you can just search that on Google or on Khan Academy to find it. So let's look at this logarithm. So this right here is a logarithm, and let's talk about all the parts of it. So this 10 right here is the base. Okay, that 10 is the base. So what we say right here is we have log base 10 of 100, and we want to know what that equals. Now, logarithms are just exponents. What we're saying here is we're saying 10 raised to what power will give me 100. Okay, notice I said 10 raised to what power will give me 100. Okay, and you can set them all up like that. Well, probably you know that 10 to the second power means 10 times 10, which does equal 100. And so that's our answer. So what we say is we say the log base 10 of 100 equals 2. Okay, because 10 squared equals 100. Okay, so remember you're saying 10 raised to what power gives me 100. And the reason the answer is 2 is because 10 squared gives me 100. So on this one, you've got log base 2 of 32 equals what? And so you're saying 2 raised to what power will give us 32? Well, let's find out. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 more does equal 32. Well, how many 2's do we have right here? We've got 5 of them, right? So 2 to the 5th power does equal 32. So in this problem, we're saying 2 to what power gives me 32? And you can see right here that 2 to the 5th power gives me 32. So the answer is 5. And so in Khan Academy right there, you'd put 5. We're saying that the log base 2 of 32 equals 5. So why don't you pause the video and see if you can do this one. So on this one, we're saying 3 raised to what power will give me 9? Okay, 3 raised to what power will give me 9? Well, 3 times 3 equals 9. And I've got, that's 2 3's, right? So what we're saying is 3 squared will give me 9. So in this case, the answer is 2. Okay, 2. Because the reason the answer is 2 is because 3 squared equals 9. So why don't you pause the video and see if you can do this one. So here we're saying log base 2 of 4 is what? So we're saying 2 raised to what power will give me 4? 2 raised to what power will give me 4? Well, 2 times 2 equals 4. And that's 2, 2, so we're saying 2 squared will give me 4. And so the answer here is 2, and what we're saying is we're saying 2 raised to the second power gives me 4. So let's look at this problem. Here we're saying the log base 5 of 125 equals what? And so remember, we're asking ourselves 5 raised to what power gives me 125? Well, let's just start multiplying 5's. 5 times 5 is 25, times 5 more is 125. Well, how many 5's is that? That's 3 of them, so 5 cubed equals 125. So we can answer the question, 5 to what power gives me 125? It's to the third power, so the answer is 3. And so if you went in your calculator and you typed log base 5 of 125, the answer it's going to give you is 3. Okay, so you should pause the video and try this one. And so here we have log base 4 of 64 equals what? And remember, we're asking ourselves 4 to what power will give me 64? Well, let's try it. 4 times 4 is 16 times 4 more does equal 64. So you can see there are 3 4s. So that's 4 to the 3rd power gives me 64. So when you ask yourself 4 to what power gives you 64, the answer is to the 3rd power. To the 3rd power. And so I just wanted you to see that there is an app in the App Store just called Calculator, and here's what the icon looks like. And it just lets you write your problem. Now you can see I wrote log base 4 of 64, and it gave us 3, which is exactly what we got in the problem. Right? So if you get a chance, go in the App Store, download this app, and you can check all your answers. The last thing I want to show you is that there's a website called Wolfram Alpha, okay? See it right here, wolframalpha.com. And what it'll allow you to do is put in any math problem and it'll give you the answer. Now, there's also an app, but the app costs $2.99. You don't need to buy the app if you don't want to. Now, look at what I put in right here. I put in log base 4 of 64 equals, and you can see they rewrote it log base 4 of 64, and they said the result was 3. Okay, so I would encourage you to always go check your answers after you work problems to make sure you're working it correctly.